that you and I get from fruits and vegetables. And it's a different way of looking at these animals, certainly. But there is still a small resistance to belugas in Canada's Arctic, in a large part because to ship food up to the north, an apple can cost $5 and be very badly unfresh by the time it gets up there. So, yeah, it's a rather interesting fact of Canadian life. And what does that have to do with us way down here in Vancouver? Because no, we're not looking at these animals as a food source. Well, we do know that some of the decisions we're making down here in Vancouver, and there are some positive ones, things like the 100-mile diet, for instance, we know about that down here. Things like that, they're out there for us to think about how much energy we are consuming and burning. Because we know that climate change is being felt in the Arctic a lot more than it is here, and it's affecting the ice. And the belugas eat ice. No, they do not. But there's things that grow on the ice. In our exhibit, you'll notice the algae growing on the rocks. So that's what algae does, completely natural, completely normal. In the Arctic, it grows on the very ice itself. And there's small things that eat the algae, and then big things at the top of that food chain. So there's not as much ice. Well, that's what the Arctic food chain is built on. So we need to do our part, even way down here in Vancouver, to make sure that, yeah, the Arctic waters stay as chilly as possible. But it's impossible to talk about belugas in Canada and not just talk about the Arctic population. We have to go east as well, because if we have anyone here visiting from the Maritimes or Quebec or even in and around the Great Lakes, you may know that yes, in the St. Lawrence estuary, there is a small population of beluga whales. And chances are, if you live in that part of the world, you're not looking at these animals as a food source. But they are relied on somewhat economically by a few different whale watching outfits. Because yeah, people will go out in the water just as they come to the aquarium to see whales. But will you see beluga whales leaping out of the water if you're on a whale watching boat in the St. Lawrence River? Oh my goodness! No, you will not. Because these are very acrobatic animals. And the behaviors that you see are animals trained to do, in large part, behaviors to help exercise the animals, that they're not terribly acrobatic animals. If you are lucky, when you are out on a whale watching boat looking for belugas, you may see them floating. And that's some pretty awesome floating.